It is the year 5016 of the Union Era, and the galaxy is home to trillions. At the core of humanity's territory, there's a golden age, but outside of this newly won utopia, the revolutionary project continues. Hello everybody, and welcome to Tears of Divinity Fading Chronicle here on Neon Lights Roleplay. As I have been, even just as early as yesterday, am Turk, or Turk Accented, following an appropriate amount of cutscenes and power-up training montages. And I have the distinct honor and privilege of being your GM for the evening. But a quick note before we continue on, Lancer is at its core a story about humanity and fighting back the evils of the old ages, and so those evils still need to be confronted. The players that you see on your screen have direct line to me, but you, the audience, are not quite so lucky. If at any point you're experiencing difficulties, the Savage 21st can provide exfil at the nearest blink gate at the simplest click of the mute or exit button. So please take some time, refresh, full repair, and get back into the field when you can. We will be ready and waiting for you when things are all better. Anyway, while I am at the helm of this tale, I'm not alone at the wheel, as I have a group of industrious storytellers here to entertain you in the mud and blood of the Lancer storytelling system. So, without further ado, allow me to introduce them in the special way that I do that, which of course kicks it off with Philadelphia's finest, the Big Foxy, the Young Foxy, the Old Foxy. Depends how many times the Twitter handles that get shifted around due to combat. It's Foxy.
Don't worry, I'm no longer being permabanned. Hello, everybody. It's Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Philly's finest. I can get it right. And today, I have the esteemed and pleasurable honor of getting to bring to you all another chapter in the story of the one Ensign Reggie Draws, who's going through some shit. That said, I'll pass it down to my co-conspirator for the evening.
Yes, and to do so really quickly, I'm going to give you a little sparkle intro as well, because it's Game Mommy, it's Horror Daddy. It's the one who you see when the lights go off at night, and you're like, hey, what are you doing in my house? And like, hey, I just want to hang out. And then you're really excited about that. It's Meg Mysteria.
Hey Megan, or Meg Mysteria, and tonight I'm playing and will continue to play Elena Victoria, who, she's trying her best. She's gonna continue to do her best.
Ain't we fucking all?
Also, and for my makeup tonight, special points to who can guess it in the chat where it's from. Good luck.
All right. Then without further ado, allow me to briefly recap, because last episode was pretty straightforward. The group pursued and fought the entity known as the Blip, or, not the preferred name, but, they'll take anything, monikers you've thrust upon them. That went okay. And by okay, you mean not great and trending in a negative direction. Things went poorly. People were hurt. Some folks are, yeah, I feel like there's some presence that's angry with me. I don't know. I'm sorry, I just checked back at the cameras here. I didn't see anything, so that's clearly me. Anyway, that being said, we are going to be jumping right into the aftermath of that, so I dare not spoil any more, because we're going to drop y'all right into it. Let me just let that fade out. As your group continues making their way back from the scene of combat, retreating at haste with the threat of the Blip's pursuit temporarily held with the dismissal to the Metavault. Reggie, are you like fully ejected? You're not in like a pod or anything to be carried? You just...
I think we decided last episode that I am, in fact, in a kind of like semicircular command pod that kind of sits in the torso container of Tuahonda.
Oh, not a torso of Tuahonda anymore.
Yeah! I know!
That being said, making your way back, what is the plan? What do you retreat back to? Obviously, there's the med center, useful potentially to any mortal wounds that you all have taken, but there's also the Sing admin center. It's a bit more of a walk, but making your way there, they have printers and there's more generalized defenses.
Well, I don't think I have a say in where we go, considering I'm not walking under my own motive systems right now. So I'll leave that in the purview of my seconds.
So, Elena is going to get in contact with Administrator Huck.
Hawk?
Huck,
Like Huck better, personally.
listen. Look, words, Hawk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you open comms in any particular fashion, or you just click it on and hope to hear an angry Scottish man shouting at you?
Yeah, pretty much. Just kind of opening line and calling out, this is Elena Victoria reaching out.
It takes a few clicks and broadcasts because you hold the line and it's static on the other side. The natural caverns here creating some problems as you got closer and closer to your conflict with the blip and working your way out of that. It seems to be a similar thing, but eventually, slowly, you do hear a response. Elena! Oh! You're walking out of there. That's good. We hear you. This is Admin Hook.
Oh, great to be... Admin Hawk, great to hear your voice. Look, we are walking out, but not without people down.
Well, not unexpected. Hunt go well?
Would love to chat about it. Maybe we can do it in person.
Understood. Hold fast. We sent a convoy, some lightly armored forces to relink with Med Center now that it's clear, but are you able to fully make it back to the center here?
Or I'm torn. I'm trying to decide between making it to the center and making it to meds.
I'm conscious. Oh.
Are you
Thank
sure you?
Let me quickly steal Reiji for a second. I need him.
Oh no.
Reiji, you're sitting in the pod. I assume just kind of frozen stuck still a little bit.
Yeah, good assumption.
The tactile responses you had received in your combat with the blip, odd but not unheard of. Other Lancer pilots have reported some form of sympathetic nerve sensations with their injuries. Usually that can be dissuaded with a little bit of, not flash glowing, but, just medical care and proper psychiatric assistance. Like brainwashing kind of stuff. Just reassociation of one's limbs with themselves. But that's usually long-term deployment type issues. As you're sitting, you find yourself adrift a little. The sensation in your hands, you feel a tingle, as if Your limbs are numbing, like they're asleep, but you can still sort of move them. It's just tingles all across that right arm that had been slashed at by the blip. This feeling that you have, it's like your body is extremely fatigued, that any effort made to move on your own is halting. Though the limited movement that you are able to do in your personal space here is obviously small anyway.
That's concerning.
Tell me about a time tell me about the time when you were first strapped into the harnesses of your icy prison on the planet of Yin.
Yeah, that's easy. Wasn't too long after getting off of prison transport. I slugged the guard on the way out. Told me a rat. They need a solitary. Locked some bracelets around my arms and legs. Locked them to a chair. Cut the lights off.
And you blink, and suddenly all you see is darkness. About you, the sounds of the mech moving fade away as you now just simply hear that door lock shut. Want to teach you? You're not in charge here, rat. Last bit slides closed, the light plunges you, and you feel this chill in your bones that you haven't felt since you left the Atmo of Spar. You jolt back, eyes blinking open again, this feeling of awareness back in the current moment, and that's when you realize you're bleeding. It seems like somehow you've coughed up quite a lot of blood, and your arm is now completely numb and unable to move. I will say, for sake of your teammates, I would assume everyone's got a generalized read on some folks' biometrics. That is pinging like fucking crazy. Reiji is suffering a form of cardiac arrest and is having some serious difficulty with blood flow to several areas that indicate traumatic injury or some other issues.
We're going to medical.
I think
Needs
he
immediate
tries to
treatment.
complain and then coughs.
You cough again, and you're looking down at a desk. It's covered with tablets and info screens, and you're in a very formal outfit, but still that small blood cough that you hold into a held out hand, it's your own gloved, but you clench it, and you're raising your arm back up, and and that hand in front of you is gone. Your arm is still locked into place by the controls.
What in the hell is happening to me?
We'll help you clear the way. We'll make sure there's a warm welcome. You hear over the comms as Admin Honk signs off. So, Elena, you've just realized that your friend is in serious medical straits out of nowhere. What's going through your head?
I think the gist of it is failure's not an option. So she's immediately starting to look into what we can revert power to with systems and saying legacy, we need to divert as much as we can to getting ourselves moving.
I could put everything into movement and might not assist with the medical systems in the control pod there. It's not exactly meant for long-term stays. Hardly a treatment facility in the core of your mechs, ma'am.
We're not exactly meant for survival.
And you say I'm too concerned, but yet you say things like that. I will run what scans I can in the background. I can't be too invasive, of course. I don't have clearance for that, but I should note your brother has stopped trying to call. I have left a message that you would return shortly. As the signal's gotten clearer, it's been a bit easier, but still, he must be at somewhere, some proper strong omni-hook station to be able to reach into these caves.
Alright, I'll call him back once things settle down.
Very good, very good. When do you think that will be? Oh, it's just a friendly guess.
Once we get ready to be treated.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind for when things turn sideways later.
Always the pessimist, aren't you?
I take statistical analysis of the combat situations we encounter and extrapolate on the data to find patterns.
I mean, and to be fair, I am like actively dying, so like I can't say I blame the you know, like
you can't blame Legacy, right?
yeah, I feel like I don't, you know, he's being a realist right now, not necessarily a pessimist, I would say. Sorry, I'll be quiet, I'm dying.
I'm dead. But yeah, your comms are still connected. You can still hear that Reiji, you're breathing, which is good compared to the alternative. Oh wait,
I think he's just like lowly mumbling to himself. I'm not gonna die. Not gonna die like this.
You shouldn't try to force yourself to talk, but no, you're not gonna die. We're not going to let you.
We shouldn't have. It was stupid. Sorry.
It's okay.
And yeah, I think he just coughs some more and doesn't really have a whole lot more to say besides that at the current moment.
Is there anything else you do with the walkover, Elena?
Is there a way for me to access his pod? Like directly?
You could physically open it.
Would that be detrimental?
Hard to say. I mean, the escape pod is meant to preserve the pilot and land safely. It's not like an ICU unit or something. You know, unless I guess specifically meant for that purpose. I would assume Tuahanga's command pod was just, hey, this shoots out, and the pilot will survive the crash and can then jump out and scramble out when
pretty
needed.
Much. Yeah, pretty much.
So
Because I'm wondering if I could be able to do initial treatment. Or if that would be, like, not good at this point.
I mean, I'm not arguing against it. There is a giant slash in the command pod, so it's not like it's impossible to get open.
Oh yeah, opening it is the issue. It's the question of efficacy at this stage because I mean, do you have a patch or something? Even
She would keep supplies in Legacy's cockpit.
sure, we can assume you probably have like one emergency bit of patch. Yeah, if you want to, you just need to kind of disengage, kind of like opening up a pistachio.
Yeah, it's probably better to have Origin crack it open and then you just hop out and go over to the pod.
Oh yeah. Or you could try and do it like I'll walk over in the hands and crawl down the arms and everything, but
Yeah, we'll probably have Origin crack it open and then Elena will traverse down the arm while Origin's still moving. And try to put that patch on. See if we can't get
all right.
Reiji somewhat stable.
As Origin kind of manipulates the pod open, you begin making your way down on the arms, crawling very carefully. As you continue moving forward, Reggie, I imagine when the pod opens, a lot of the grips around that would normally keep your limbs locked in case of jostling and bumping will also release as per the system. So you feel your limbs fall down and slacken around you. The right arm at this point is just
Oh, fuck, I'm
Not.
actively Mikazuki'd. God damn it.
not functioning, but the rest of you feeling tingly and odd, and you
Sir?
look and hi.
Can we throw the full Mikazuki in there and say my right eye is fucking up too?
Well, hold with me a moment. It gets better.
No.
I'll
Just
hold.
wait.
I'm holding.
You see Elena and blink, and you're back on Spar when your pre-Tuahanga build was almost entirely held together by hard light. You're again looking at, I think in that case, it was Sim crawling in to try and get you out of the pit. You're looking at both scenes at once, one laid over each other, a similar state of a teammate having to reach in and pull you out. What was going through your mind back then, and is it similar to this moment?
It's not the same thing going through his mind. At least, no, I'm wrong. I think in that moment, in the same instance, the same thing happened. Reiji recognized someone was coming to grab him. He realized he was conscious, and I imagine in overlaid over the same moment, had the exact same first thought. There's virtue.
Elena, you reach Reiji. Clearly, like, hemorrhaging in some way. His body just looks beat to hell, like as if he had been in a physical confrontation, a fight. Right arm, like I said, slack, and it looks as if there is not a... How best to describe this? It looks like there is a massive cut that didn't break the skin, but did tear through muscle. Like, imagine if you can. Imagine if you can a world where this guy is not fucked up. We're not there.
Yeah.
But like the bleeding of a cut that had nowhere to go but around in the arm and under the skin. And just like that slackness of arm, and you also see that similarly happening around the kind of floating rib right here, where I mean, eagle-eyed viewers will remember that Tuahunga got freaking stabbed last time. Beyond that, though, yeah, Reiji's nearby eye here is completely bloodshot and just kind of leaking occasionally in what I imagine is probably a mix of tears and blood.
The words from my mouth, boss.
Yeah. Try not to be proud, trying to be really sad right now. But thank you. This is severely fucked. Patch
Sorry.
No, go for it. Yeah, tell me your thoughts.
I was gonna say, like, so triage assessment, considering the arm has gone completely numb and slack, that's probably the worst case right now.
Yeah, not knowing the timeline of the events as they occurred, only that there's a massive, you were also obviously updated that his blood flow is irregular right now.
Okay, the blood flow is irregular, so the cardiac thing is also.
Yes.
That's also very important.
I will say patch is not like a magic cure-all. It's kind of just a generalized term for medical first aid equipment. So you'd probably be able to stop bleeding to the wound in the arm and also apply pressure to the other internal hemorrhaging wound. The rest, I mean, that's a lot of internal medicine that would require, I'd call it a check. I could even I'll ask you for a check right now, so we can roll some dice tonight. I think there is a patch skill, or heal patch.
No,
there's patch fix.
Yeah, patch or fix. Yeah.
Patch fix feels appropriate here if you got it. But if you got something else related to medical treatment or something like that.
Would you accept stay cool? Considering this is my CEO / friend. Who's...
It's a little difficult here because I'm not necessarily asking you to remain calm. I think that's part of it. But I think given the controlled situation you're in, you don't have to worry about whether you're calm or not.
Valid. Okay. So I'm just flying with grit right now.
All right. Hey, grit's all you need sometimes.
And it's a total of 18.
See?
18's great.
There it is.
You managed to feel like you've made some progress on the bleeding. The kind of creating a splint sort of cast, sling rather is the word, that also acts as a tourniquet here. And then you can kind of effectively, now I'm thinking about it, you could probably take the arm, sling it, and then just like
wrap the whole thing.
Wrap the whole thing to apply pressure to the arm and to the central chest wound, the abdominal wound, and just like, yeah, you'd probably call them both clear, as Reiji's effectively going to be applying pressure to his own wound with an arm he can't feel.
Awesome.
Amazing. This is efficiency.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah, man, eat your heart out. We're innovating here.
Yeah, I think Reiji is like just kind of looking down, like not even like moving, just like rolls the one eye he's capable of moving over to her, and in the midst of wheezing through several coughing breaths and dribbling blood from his mouth, just, "You're touchy today."
Well, you didn't exactly give me a choice.
Yeah. Guess that one's on me. I
You both. I'll go for it.
I don't know what's happening to me.
What do you mean?
Everything's weird in my head. I don't know. I can't tell where I am. When I am.
Reggie, did you use the nanites?
Had to. Would have killed all of us.
So what's happening is something with the nanites is fucking with your head. Putting you out of place in time, space.
Huh. Wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. And I think he'll pass out at that point.
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna hear in the little calm that you have in your head, Elena. The situation is not improving. I fear if we do not hasten, we may very well lose him.
Hasten? They're both speed 3!
Yes, but you know, we're trying our best. We have to hit narrative speed.
Cranks the drive all the way up to N.
They've gone to Plaid.
Okay, what are our options?
I can send a message to the med center. Any team they have there that still remains somewhat cognizant and capable is likely to have come along with Singh at the administration team, or, well, we've hopefully flushed enough down of that old code in the in the flash cloning tanks. I don't know.
Send the message.
Very well, done. They'll be ready for us as best they can. They're flying off the handle too. First major case. Don't know whether to be proud of that or not. But it's a good thing you all cleared that out beforehand.
Good strategy on our part.
Was that praise for me? If only I was conscious to hear it.
Sarcastic praise, but praise.
Listen, we'll take what we can get right now. I'm hurting, okay?
That being said, if the objective now is to just push on as fast as possible and move it.
Yeah, and I think Elena is gonna just stay in the pod and try to monitor him and try to keep him as stable as she can.
Okay. Finally, it feels like an eternity of monitoring even just pulse and doing what you can, trying to establish regular heart rhythms when things start to get dicey, which they do. Eventually, the med center comes into view. The doors automatically open before you and clear the way. A proper like a proper medical vehicle is pulled out and seems to be ready, almost like, kind of imagine like a mobile back to tank holder opens as a group, as like the group like is ready for you to place the pod down, which just assuming Legacy is in control here, they will oblige and drop as a bunch of folks who look like they just slid into scrubs, and like their equipment. All right, we've got them. Come on, let's get those scanners hooked up. Excuse me.
And we'll step out of the way.
And they begin attaching various scan points to Reiji, who I think at the sudden new jolt, you open your eyes and you're back in the prison cell when they were setting up for a deep freeze, the periods of time where they just slap you into cryo to dull the mind a little and create complacency. Truly, you would probably have found out this is just a convenient way they could store you in a closet and keep their numbers high enough they'd make a profit off of Harrison Arms and Setcom.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The benefit being it kept your skin great. But that being said, as you were loaded in the first time, what was the thought that would go through your mind here? This kind of strange dreamscape that you've now been in, but now are going into for the first time.
It feels at first like being sunken into ice cold water. All your nerves numb and your limbs get heavy and you start to feel like you're being pulled down. You can open your mouth, but breath doesn't draw in. And then Reiji always has the same dream in cryo. It's floating in the cold with shackles around his wrists and his ankles and his neck. Just floating. Wishing, needing, demanding to be free. To scream with a free voice.
Outside of this vision, you look about you as these medical staff in the prison kind of just almost seem to spit on the scanners as they fix them to bare skin that bristles in the cold, and they kind of almost feels like it's digging as the cold breeze makes everything hard. As you cut through, damn it, he's not even internally bleeding right. His blood's not even moving, you hear, and back out. Right. You take a nice long nap and just enjoy yourself, or we have to shock him again. Keep his heart moving as we get him in the dunking. And you open your eyes as the final door locks and clamps down. The blast of cold jolting you awake just long enough to then have your vision blur back as the tank fills with water around you. A material you can breathe, but you know, probably, I assume you probably have some familiarity with a medical tank. More to keep you in suspension while they can initiate a process here. And you fade. The team leads Reiji away. The cart moving with a speed that you can't match on foot. Them far too concerned about his state as soon as they started getting readings than to even wait to offer you a chance to come on and ride. And it's you and it's just you and the ride. So you're kind of out in that past that second gate where, you know, ships drop and deposit folks like folks in states. You hope similar to Reiji's, but your mind, you know there's something deeper there. A issue that has now plagued him for a long while. What do you do?
Kind of back to Legacy and sigh and say all we can do now is hope for the best.
Hope in the medical professionals. Are you alright? You hear Legacy chime. Your mental state is clearly elevated.
I'll be fine. Find a corner we can post up in and make that phone call.
You're certain?
So I'd rather get it over with.
Very well. I'll begin setting up the line for when you're ready.
Thank you.
And the courtyard and surrounding areas, much like you remember it, not much has clearly changed in what is frankly a few hours you've been gone from here. Wreckage and debris are still shoved to corners, and folks meander less. It seems like after your efforts and the attack by the blip, a lot of the folks who were friendly with the Lightless Sun either got out of here or threw up their hands and are being processed by admin. One or the other. So you kind of... Finding your own space is easy. You are, as a Lancer pilot, solely alone. For the first time, it was probably a while.
And that is strange, certainly. Imagine she goes to a corner and posts up by some work truck that has been abandoned in their corner for the time being. She climbs up into the seat and with the steering wheel for a minute and waits for Legacy to confirm that the line is open.
It's ready. I have Brendan ready to connect.
All right. Thank you.
Activating it. You activating the line?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, I've been trying to reach you. Are you on some kind of like barren rock or something? I had to go some primo core system just to actually get a strong enough signal to go out wherever the hell you are.
Yeah, this planet has a thing with the rocks that do not connect.
A thing with the rocks that don't connect.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I know things are shaky at home, but you gotta admit that's really flaky.
I can get a local to tell you.
Please don't put me on with a local. I'm good right now. I've had a lot of talking with other people, and I'd really like to just hear your voice to make sure you're okay.
Well, I'm alive.
Yeah,
Wait.
okay. So, that's the least that your NHP could tell me in the garbled little bits of communication I got in the last few hours. I'm also alive.
I'm noticed with the, 4 attempted phone calls in the last as many hours?
Can you blame me? I'm allowed to be concerned about my sibling here.
Yeah, what's all this about?
Well, like, why am I calling you?
Why did you sound so desperate?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got off. Look. I thought my little assignment, go work on some stuff, basically just a little bit out of core as possible, would be this nice cushy thing, just far enough I could claim the same. Ooh, the rocks are weird excuse, if mom and dad ever called. But yeah, then I don't know if you've heard about this, but there was kind of the Genesis Wave event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really neat. Local NHP systems all tried to start offing anyone with a biosignal. That was fun. Anyway, comm system got completely overwritten. Some telewire asshole claiming that he was some kind of static god reborn. Dude sound like a pre-union broadcaster.
You got stuck somewhere because of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have my own personal spaceship. Did mom and dad give you that?
No, the military did.
Sorry. Oh, I totally missed my calling as a mercenary of war.
Brendan, what were you doing out there?
Working a job. I was getting out of the fucking house for once in a while. And, more importantly, apparently I was keeping my head low while things blew up.
So you're getting all that now?
Oh yeah, gosh, why are you calling? I wonder. Look, I suppose you could generously call what I had with mom and dad a conversation. But I phoned them after their lawyers phoned me.
The lawyers phoned you first.
Well, they're a bit more persistent.
What did they want?
They wanted to make sure my story's all buttoned up and I'm aware of the charges. I don't think I have to come in for a deposition or anything, but I don't know. Look, we can talk about the SSC thing, or you can tell me that you're okay. I know what I want to hear about first, alright? Because I got a very brief scoff and a rundown of why we're not reaching out to you right now, but
I would love to hear about why that is, to be honest.
honestly,
I've been waiting.
Song and dance. We're not to make contact at this fragile moment in our family's history. Connected to too many heavy things right now. We've requested that Elena step back from the broader picture of this family and this company's ongoing, So, suffice to say, the robots that have taken over our parents' minds are truly in effect now.
I thought that was more of the company than them, but
Company, robots, what's the difference? But they're using their words. They're embarrassed. The company is in the shits, but if you really care to know, I think this whole Genesis Wave event is going to be covering the news stories for, let's be generous and call it the next 5 solar cycles. No. 5 solar years. And, well, cockroaches, right? Love a good atom bomb.
to answer your question, yes, I am okay, Brendan.
Okay. It's a start. So, do you want to tell me where the hell you are?
I can't tell you that, you know that.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You get that from them, I'm convinced.
It's military classification. I can't tell you.
Business classification, I can't tell you.
Okay.
Look, you don't have to tell me exactly where just you're okay, you're with your group, everyone's fine, you're all doing badass military stuff, and it's great, right? Just
With my squad. I got a boyfriend
hey,
who has run off, hunt down
oh,
his brother. So I'm gonna hunt him down and knock some sense into him for leaving me behind. But
you know, sometimes they're not worth chasing. Sometimes you just need to get a really high-powered rifle and handle that shit from a distance.
those now.
That's very nice. Dump the, well, okay, yeah, I did hear you got cut off from some company reps.
Oh yes,
Part of the grand exile of Elena. I'm ready to
delightful little thing. Must I change? Delightful little thing. But I can get my license back if I stop being a Victoria. It's tempting.
Look, I know we've talked about it, but that's a lot. It's not something to joke about right with me right now.
I know. And you know I would go through with it anyway.
You're allowed to. It's just I'd appreciate a heads up so I could go find myself flusterclucked in another hard to reach location for a little bit. Cause hell, you know I'm gonna hear all about it.
So I'll tell you what the stipulation is. If Dad tries to force me into that arranged marriage, that's what'll happen.
You know they're gonna try and make that happen, right?
I'm
With
very aware.
all this news, really shitty situation, they're probably biding their time till they can pick up some positive news story about you again and then pop right back in. As soon as people back in the core like you, got some positive name rep, they're gonna try and ride you. I I I don't know. I get it. I mean, I know that. I understand. It's just I don't like the thought of not having that connection with you anymore.
And we can always find other ways to talk.
Yeah, no, of course. It's not like your OmniNet connection status is just going to change or anything, but, you know. They're not going to take that lightly, and backers and the rest of the company certainly not, especially if this is really public, which, you know. I'm guessing you're going to want to go. The only sensible reason to do so. To walk down that path, is to throw a rock into the shitstorm that is their life.
Yeah,
They might not
well,
do anything. They might not do anything, but someone else might.
someone picks a fight, I will show them a fight.
It just doing my best to make sure you don't have to get into fights. Then again, what do I fucking know? Ran away from all the combat contracts. I don't use those mechs, I just build them, right?
Always looking out for me.
Well, you know, someone has to. Big family, full of assholes. At least one of us has to have a cool, clear head.
I got a pretty cool big brother out of it, so.
You're really okay? You don't need any help or anything?
I know that you really only deal with that. I shouldn't say you really only deal with building mechs and stuff. But what do you know, or do you know anybody who deals with nanites?
Would like, kind of like a Baylor class nanite swarm? Kind of nanite sheath, like nanite builds like that. I mean, there's personalized spy nanites, things like that nature, or what are we talking about here?
Rising Sun nanites.
Haven't heard of those on the market. Who's producing those?
It wasn't on the market.
Oh. What mech is it assigned with, usually?
He just lost his mech. And I'm worried it's going to be an adverse reaction.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The nanites here are not a function or feature of the mech.
No.
How does
He's
that...
injecting himself with them. Himself with the nanites. And the mech with the nanites.
Huh. That's... Okay. I mean, theoretically, if it's a connected hive mind of nanites, they'd be able to form a sort of neural pathway connection between the two of them. I'm not certain. I'd want to feel every nick and scratch that my frame took, but it's a choice. But the mech was destroyed?
Yes. And he is in critical condition. I'm trying to see about a counter reagent. Because if he survives this, can't have this shit happening to him again.
I've got time, and unless something swiftly changes, I still have my back door to the company files. And frankly, they've got their coders running around deleting and hiding away as much as they can anyway, so I'll see what I can catch on the way out, if there's anything that we've got related to it. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer right now.
It's okay. I didn't expect you to have an answer now. If you have an answer at all, that's more than what I expected.
Okay. I hope your friend's okay.
Thank you.
Are you overseeing them right now? You're somewhere safe, right? You're not just calling me post battlefield and people are still shooting at you.
We're secure.
In that case, I just suggest making sure they have some really good medical care and some way to issue a status stasis. Sorry, on pain pathways.
Yeah, we're in a medical facility, so after this,
Okay.
I'm gonna go check on them.
Okay. All right. Here, let me stop taking your time. Then you should go.
Thanks, Brent.
Of course. What are big brothers for but looking up dangerous nanite machine injection technology countermeasures?
Illegally in a failing company.
Well, you
Forgot
know.
that part.
Of course. Illegally in a failing company with two psycho parents on the behalf of their treasured sibling. Truly, this happens every other week.
Every other week.
Well, my little sibling is in the military, so, you know. I get a lot
You're
of discuss.
ridiculous.
Oh no, I'm the right amount of ridiculous for this ridiculous situation, so. Send the best to your team. Let Inahara know if he ever needs a stable hand doing some repairs. I can make several recommendations, but I'm not about to take a pay cut. So, unfortunately, you're on your own there until the union can actually start putting together some scratch.
Okay.
But you say the word, I'm there, alright?
Alright.
Alright. Go look after your friend.
I will. See you later.
This isn't the boyfriend who's nearly dying. The boyfriend just ran away from you.
Yeah, the boyfriend ran away from me.
Okay. Were they also part of your squad, or?
Yes, they were.
Wow. Okay. I heard you got demoted, but like, I don't know. Maybe it was the right call based off the team comp picks.
Wow, thanks.
I'm just saying, me personally, I put together my crews and they don't blow up, but I'm not a pilot. What do I know?
I didn't pick the team.
Oh, of course, right. Okay. I just captain and throw it higher up on that ladder, right? It's fine.
Our tech engineer is one of my best friends. Take that.
Tech engineer is one of your best friends. Okay. Yep. And there's a Lancer tech engineer, so what's fucky with them?
She's our CEO's wife.
Oh, good. So it's just a whole big crisscross pile. This is the new CEO, so assumedly one of the people who's potentially now need to be put into your vegetative state?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
She also has an NHP girlfriend.
Oh, good. You know, that's fine. Post Genesis wave.
She's stable so far.
Take care of yourself, you goober.
I will. I'll see you later.
Talk later. See you for the holidays. Haha.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Right. And the line clicks off.
That was great. I love you two, by the way. That was great.
That was so much fun.
The reality of the situation cuts in so often as it does. I mean, from my own personal experience after chatting with family that you haven't connected with in a while. what Brennan offered, the thought process that Reiji, due to the nanites, probably has some kind of mental connection to the destroyed mech that no longer exists, matches the bruising you saw, but that would almost seem to speak that the muscles tore themselves, that the bone nearly splintered of its own accord. You have a friend who is on the brink. In time, I think this thought probably shoots through the mind, whether you grasp it or not is up to you, but at the time, under your command, this occurred. This series of decisions was, of course, mitigated, but while you held the reins, do you feel like you could have done more?
Absolutely. If she probably thinks that she should have stopped it. She should have stopped this.
You're alone. Your decisions, the circumstances of the world, sitting alone in a car, a hauled out wreck outside a medical facility, not knowing how many friends you're going to have at the end of the day. I think that's where we leave you, Tempura. Reiji.
That's me.
The
Hi.
cool dark of unconsciousness flows around you. You feel like you can hear soft conversations, shouted words, overlapping notes in a symphony without a conductor. A play where every scene is occurring at once as your life flashes before your eyes, but every moment. It is not sequential. At one time, you are young, growing up amongst friends. The next, you look down from the view of a ship and watch as a planet you've called home for so long becomes another blink in a galaxy of stars. You jump back, you're fighting a bunch of brutes and snobby pricks right before you're eventually clasped and thrown, almost as if the hairy hands that grabbed you are the same that then shove you onto a prison ship. Then you're very old, sitting at the helm somewhere, a ship that's perhaps a derelict. It's hard to say as there's no one around you. You try to look forward out the windows, but something doesn't allow you. The flow state of reality brings you back to that moment where the pod was ejected. And you watch again as your vision in the forge is burnt away by the harsh rays of a sun, untethered. And all you see, Tuahanga, Virtue, back of the frame, standing between you and oblivion. Is there a particular memory you try and focus in on that connection?
I think the memory Reiji focuses on the most is he is in the best you can call it is a shack. A rundown warehouse, maybe, if you're being generous. There is a mess of tools about him. A couple lumen globes spilling harsh white light all over things. There's a massive, ruined metal chassis just under him. He's straddled atop the sort of torso, a hammer in one hand, goggles down on his face, and a torch welder in the other as he's messing with systems and wires. He picks his head up. Okay. Don't know if a fully functional comp contest like this is gonna do any fucking thing, but this thing works. I'm eating like a king for a month. Here we go. And he'll slam his hand down on a power button. A reactor whirs to life. Come on, you big bastard. Talk to me. Say something.
And in that moment, you hear a voice. The end, my lord. I fight with you to the end. That has come for me, so that it may not come for you. Do not hold me so tight. I go now where you may not follow. But we shall meet again.
I haven't seen a future without you in it. Where do I go?
Onward. Strike your blade through the sky. Rend heaven and hell alike. That is my will. That is my purpose. Kill God.
There were 15 of you once. I am the last. The 16th virtue. Piercing the throne of God.
The space you're in shifts and changes slightly as you feel different, more aware. Not entirely of your body. In fact, it feels like you can actively see parts of you flaking away, like paper mache around a slight skeletal frame that also dissipates. But about you, the void feels solid, like a surface. Though you're only looking through one eye, you see a shape, a figure seemingly made of the same void that encompasses this place, but with enough definition that you can tell they are humanoid make. They speak impassively, without tone, rhythm, or any fluctuation. So I'm going to do the best I can, but you'll have to bear with me. Greetings. You are dying.
I can't die.
Agreed. Your value is too high. Do you seek revenge?
Revenge?
Restitution for what has been done against you and those you call allies. The galaxy that has been burnt after your actions failed to stop God.
Yenival. I will kill her. I will tear her from the sky. Will rip her heart from her chest and I will eat it while she dies.
This is acceptable. A compact will be offered to you. My compact. An extension of something you already have. But I will make it better. Enhance it. Under one request.
What's that?
Do not stop. Your revenge burns. It is a good flame, but could be improved. I will stoke you with the gasoline you require to kill that which you seek. All who stand in your way. The blip, the god who now inhabits this system, and Yinaval, the being that caused you so much initial pain, and it's said to be the root of all these troubles.
Gods are masters by any other name. Every one of them will burn. I will be certain of it.
Do we have a deal? You understand there will be strings.
Who are you?
I, too, am one who wishes to see the gods burn. In this, I am what I am, a heretic. Thus you shall call me.
And I agree. I won't stop. I won't rest. You can tear my swords from my hands, rip my arms from my body, tear out my throat, and stamp on my heart. I will kill and kill until every god is stricken from the sky.
This is acceptable. The terms will be made. You may not live, but you will not die. I am authorizing the new licensing of a frame for you to inhabit. A system shall be placed inside to enhance you in combat. You may yet pose a threat to those you seek to destroy.
Always forward. Only forward. All the way to the end.
And you feel like you just see this tiniest bit of a smile cut through that otherwise difficult to read form as you once again fall into unconsciousness. And I think right there is where that scene ends and where we are going to hit a little itty bitty break. Oh. Never mind, you wrote it perfectly. That scene ends. We're going to break. Hello. Damn.
What? What was that?
That
I
was
didn't know you would do that. I didn't know that
fantastic.
sound
I
would do
love
that.
that. That's great.
Anyway, so, hi everyone. I hope you liquided well. Don't look at me. My brain's on fire. I'm hitting all the buttons and seeing what comes out. Anyway, last we left our pilots, well, our one pilot currently on their feet, Elena. They're alone in a hollowed-out wreck of a car. Friend inside. Hopefully grasping on to a form of life. The reality of the situation crunching in on you. Do you still want to be alone?
Lena is going to take a deep breath, kind of steady herself, heal herself, and get out of the car to head into the medical center and kind of see if she can find where the professional team took Reiji.
You'll hear a similar voice like when you entered the first time. Hello, sorry, welcome to the Sing Medical Center. You're already on our charts. Oh, Elena, yes. I've been directed, I'm directing you to the room in which they're, well, an observation room to where you can look after Reiji. I've directed your other squad mates there as well.
Alright, thank you.
Just follow the line. Blue is your color. Now knowing that this is a person logged in a chair makes it probably a little less creepy. But suffice to say, path leads on. And I need to bring y'all back to sing. That being said, you walk through the hospital as people hurriedly move about. Doctors and nurses and other emergency med techs bustling about. I think the pit, but as if everyone checked in at the same time. If you've ever seen that show, I've seen like one episode of it. I know it's just the bear, but for medical folk. So that kind of hectic energy as people are putting back together the systems in place to take care of folks who have been given care to, of course, but perhaps not in the way that was intended. Like as I mentioned earlier, that kind of rewired neural pathways and reward systems, messing up folks and making them more aggressive and pliable. That being said, you can enter a sort of room with a view through glass, looking over Reiji as mostly suspended in somewhat almost of like a tank, and doctors are. I'm trying to think of the right word, but like the gloves that are on the side of like a contained space. Imagine those portholes could move along and move freely. So as they reach through with gloves, they are attempting and somewhat succeeding, it seems, at keeping Reiji stable while knitting together the existing injuries and trying to induce fluid movement through the body again. As medical scans pop and you can immediately see the evidence and traces as the doctors inside are actively calling out and trying to find information on the Rising Sun nanites that have taken over a large amount of Reiji's hemoglobin, replicating it and sort of populating themselves. Seems very rapidly within the last few moments, as if as soon as the mech was destroyed, a floodgate opened. Your team is, of course, all anxiously watching. Administrator Hawk also there and hands behind his back as he looks on. He looks to you and nods. He's stable? That's something. They're just trying to figure out what the hell he's got in him. Is that the blip?
No. Was something that he got from a broker on Spar.
Alright. Pretend that explains the nanomachines in his bloodstream and neural pathways. It's not good, I'm sure you realize.
No, it's not.
So you knew about his condition, though?
Yes.
I understand why you didn't want it disclosed. It's dangerous, though. I don't know a full readout on those, but anyone with biomecha in their systems can be interfered with by whatever fuckery's taken over all of our industrials. Could explain the oddities that they're picking up now. Already talked to Sim here about the similar dangers.
to someone off planet who might be able to find some information.
I look forward to any and all breakthroughs. You're the ones who actually kicked things off and got things moving around here. Even if he was a bit of an ass.
And he's a bit abrasive, but he does get things done.
Can't complain. We're in a shitstorm. It's the technical term, of course. I'll leave you to it. I've still got a union to run and war to fight. Thank you, all the same, for even making this possible.
Thank you.
He pauses and just puts a hand on your shoulder. Because of you all, there's a lot of good folk who get to live again. You should take pride in that. And
Nods and we'll touch base once he wakes up. See what we can do about maybe going with your text plan or what the next steps are.
he looks at you at the start of that sentence when he wakes up. And you can easily read that he's not certain that will be an outcome. But he nods and, with almost slightly haunted expression, will leave the room. Reggie, I do have a question.
Failure is not an option.
Reggie, I do have a question here.
I can't answer. I'm brain dead.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. It's a narrative question for a narrative, Reggie. When you got when you had your little one-on-one chat with Galsim, and they told you that the Rising Sun nanites were on a path of replication through your system, but had been slowed or halted at various points, did you ever alert the team to the increasing issue there? I think they kind of just slid because that was all very quiet.
I mean, like, there were some mentions of nanite things not being great post-Spar, but since he hadn't used them since Spar, he wasn't really worrying about bringing it up. We kind of had bigger things to deal with.
That's true. There's it sat comfortably in the back seat for a while. Unfortunately, now you've hit a pothole and it's jumped its way out to the front to hit you in the back of the head.
It's all over. It's everywhere.
It's oh god. Okay. So, Elena, that information that that you're even now seeing on the medical readouts is new. The nanites have gotten worse.
It's brand new, and we are very unhappy with it. Because it's a little bit of, why didn't I see this, and why the fuck didn't you tell me, Reggie?
The medical systems and the doctors within seem to not stop as if they're throwing up their hands, rather stop as seems they've reached a point of stability. They turn towards the glass. We've done what we can to keep him at a level where we feel we can step away. We have to triage, you understand. He'll be okay in this current state, but if it does escalate, we'll be right back. We just need a break for a little while. Handle some other cases. And if you'd like to speak with him, that would be acceptable. At this point, I'm lowering the barrier, and they seem to hit a button on the wall, and the kind of glass separating you shunts down. The kind of pod that they're working on here, where Reiji floats, vacillates. It is a good pod float.
I've been practicing all session. I'm glad somebody noticed. Thank you.
Fantastic. Just hangs before you currently. Suspended in the air. Suspended between life and death, you can read by the vitals. Frozen.
Elena steps into the chamber and approaches the pod and just kind of watches for a moment for me asking, he's still kicking in there?
No immediate response. We've primarily focused on points of contention, heat, and action throughout this campaign. Sometimes the softer moments, those connective bits of glue in between, the cheese pull of the series, if you will, between the layers, gets lost because we have to keep the story moving. And, time limits, pesky time limits. That being said, you stand there, the flurry of thoughts cutting through your head. What's a moment that jumps out at you? Of a time just you and Reiji having a conversation, perhaps about a concern, maybe about nothing in particular. Kind of thought and connection grasps you at this moment.
I think it's probably night after they come back from their first deployment with Reggie as the new captain. And Elena noticed that he hasn't done the paperwork yet. So she's going to talk to him about it.
You open the door to what's supposed to be his quarters to find him head on his desk asleep and amidst a pile of paperwork and a data pad.
He sighs and steps into the room and like just puts a hand on his shoulder and nudges him.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Hey,
Yo.
sleeping.
No, not at all. I was reading.
Reading by drooling on everything.
What do you want?
You haven't done the paperwork yet.
It's just so fucking tedious. Every field report, every progress update, every logi request. I gotta file all this fucking shit, and it's... Ugh. I just don't get it.
Is there something particular that you don't get?
I mean, the point of it, like... Okay, I get it. If I'm in charge, I'm supposed to make all the calls and get all the things that happen, but, like... I'm not whatever the fuck this is. You wanna put me on the front and tell me to lead some people to kick some ass? Sure, not a problem. But this is stupid and unimportant and nonsensical, and I don't understand why the fuck they would ask me to do this shit. You were perfectly fine at it.
Get up.
Pulls back.
Move.
The fuck do you get off ordering me?
I'm trying to help you. Move.
He shifts a little bit, gets up, and like before he moves out of the way, like leans down somewhat to come like eye to eye with her. Something hit you in the head?
No.
All right then. Leans back somewhat. She's all yours.
So that we're on the same page. Is it fine if she sits down and starts working on the paperwork here?
Yeah, go for it.
So she takes a seat and picks up the pen and sets her own data pad down so that she can start filling out the reports and starts every now and then trying to explain something to explain the purpose of it and what the point of it is.
He'll grunt and acknowledge as you explain things and seems disinterested and bored as fuck, but is listening, or at least seems like it.
And continuing to work on it. And at some point says, look, I'll continue to write your reports. But I want you to try to write them with me. Because this is, if you're going to continue to be in a position of command, I'm not always going to be around. So you need to learn how to do it yourself.
Don't you start this shit too. I do not want this to be long term. Can we just sort out whatever the fuck is happening and put you back in charge?
Once you're in a position of command, there's a highly likely chance you will continue to be in a position to command.
You sound like Inahara.
Good. Kinahara is right.
Fine. Whatever. I'll write a report every now and then. You know, I barely learned to write in prison. Just saying my reading level may be a bit degraded from what you would expect.
Which is why I'm saying we write them together.
Alright, that was my last bet and I lied. I read plenty in prison. Just don't tell anybody.
Secret safe with me.
Okay, so follow me on this. Let's say this is long term or whatever. I'm running the fucking squadron or however we want to go play this out. What does that leave you? Again, if we're talking about leadership, you're the competent one. You're also the smart one, and the decorated one, and the one with the name, and the one who likes being here.
Well, as long as what's going on with my family is continuing to happen, then I'll continue to be second in command. Now, say I actually prove myself and my own name again and what I'm worth, they bump my rank. And I'll be my rank again, but if they want to put me in a command position, then I'll be assigned to a different squad.
So we get you higher rank than me. That way there's no way you can't get put back in charge unless they make me an even higher rank.
You are very optimistic.
Look, I don't know if you figured this out yet, but I kind of just got here. The whole military thing and the whole saving the galaxy thing, a little bit new.
You are very new.
Think I won't fuck it up?
I think you'll fuck it up, but I also think you'll learn from it. Which is more than I can say for a lot of people.
Did you just have optimism in me?
I happen to have a lot of optimism. In most people.
Leans over the desk. You sure something didn't hit you?
Yes, I'm sure. What, do you think it's weird that you're actually seeing what I'm like?
No, I just think it's weird that... the person I thought I would never groove with on this little fucking endeavor of mine has somehow become one of the main reasons I have to keep my head in it. I was hoping you'd all drop me off at somewhere when we got off Spar. Yet I'm still here, and while I'm here, I guess I need you.
And while you're here, we need you.
Well, let's go about not getting either one of us killed so far. Now, when they say supply number and then down here registry number, are those not just the same thing?
No, when they're talking about supply number, they're talking about the number of artifacts.
Okay, so then theoretically, second question. Do you need more than 5 shots in a clip? I don't know how ammo works. I've never really been a ranged weapon guy.
I have to reload every clip. Like every round. I have to reload.
So we're saying more than 5 then?
More than 5.
Okay. Third and final question. It says down here, there's a commendation for an officer's uniform, Union Blue. I'm assuming who that's for. Can I say no to it?
No, you cannot.
Cool. Well, I'm never wearing it, so...
You have to when dress days happen.
Look, is this a daycare?
so that memory plays. You guiding and helping Reiji take the reins, and I thought strikes you where it got you. Perhaps it should be you there. Maybe this is always going to happen, regardless of Galsim's little experiment. Reiji right now is in a world of glass. And the room erupts in pings and sounds. But that is where we're going to call tonight's session of Frozen Rain. Sorry, we went too far back in the timeline. We got to play Frozen Rain again. Tears of Divinity, Fading Chronicle. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but I hope it was just as filling as normal. Of course, I've got to toss it over to my fantastic players here. Please, my two friends, to the people who you're playing tonight, and where the people can find more of the exceptional work you put out into the world. In the order to introduce yourselves, Foxy, please.
What's going on, gang? It's Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Philly's finest, and I had the esteemed pleasure of playing Ensign Reiji Draws Beatrop. You looking for me on the internet? You can find me at Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXII. Something with underscore in the middle. It's been an incredible time, and as you couldn't tell, my boy's having a bit of a time. But thankfully, he's got some really good friends there to make sure he rides through it okay. I just made a deal with a heretic, but we only go forward. Always forward, all the way until the very end. It's been great. Y'all have been incredible. Thank you for your energy in chat tonight. Thank you for giving us love, and I'll see you all next time. Back over to you, gang.
Meg.
Hello everybody, I'm Megan, or Meg Mysteria. You can find me as such on Twitch, on Twitter, on Itch, on Blue Sky. As far as I've got coming up, you can see me in a couple of weeks on Singularity Roleplay for Fragments of Tomorrow's Apocalypse, our City of Mist campaign, where I am starting for the second time as Renee Webb. That's what I've got. I don't know what else is coming up. Well, we have Jump City Sirens in a couple weeks as well.
Yeah!
Where we will see what's going on with Mel and Grayson and the rest of the crew. But on to the exciting part. If you have yet take a look, makeup, full effect. Ooh. If you haven't guessed it yet,
you definitely gotta post it to the Neon Lights Discord. So
I will put it on the Discord.
Okay, good.
But
should be recorded.
What the makeup is Virtue's faceplate.
That's my boy!
So, that is where it's from. I knew what I was doing. But, that is me. Let's just throw it to Turk.
Hey everybody, I am Turk, or Turk Accented. I have had the distinct honor and privilege of being your GM for the evening. To keep things short, I'm here on Neon Lights. We're on 2 games, Oathsworn, the Dragon Lords, and, of course, Tears of Divinity, Fading Chronicle. At least for now. More projects may come in the future when my life gets less hectic. But for now, I told these two like dear treasures close to my chest. That being said, just thank you all so much for joining us. I know this is maybe not your typical big blow-up robot session, but this is the story we're telling, and I'm glad we could take a moment and pause and give these characters breath in a very critical moment. And so if you want to see what happens next and what was going on with the other characters, join us next time, where we'll be diving in on that. So, yeah, suffice to say, keep fighting the good fight. it's now more crucial than ever. You don't have to change the world, but change the people and the places immediately around you, and that would be a hell of a damn thing. That being said, stick around for a raid. We'll be shooting one off somewhere, and good night. Foxy takes out.